We're on the internet.
Yes, we're live.
Yay.
Woo!
Yay.
Only 4 minutes late. That's like a record for the HPA, I'm pretty sure. So,
I'm very proud of us.
me too. I'm always proud of us.
Hey, and my lower third works.
Yeah.
It has not been working. Why is it green? No offense, Slytherins.
Wait, are you a Slytherin? Is that what you're trying to communicate here?
Yes, this is my public coming out as a Slytherin.
Wow.
I've been afraid to tell everyone. No, I'm
Scandal.
not. I'm a Ravenclaw. Don't listen to this. If you
Um,
watch the fundraiser video, you will know that I am a Ravenclaw.
I don't believe you. Anyway, so I apparently am a Ravenclaw.
Woo!
No, that's not true. I'm a Gryffindor. This is just weird house night. That's our hate. No, this is Friends of the Apparating Library launch night. Um,
Woo!
Super exciting stuff. We don't have our usual giant panel of people. For the most part, it'll be just me and Katie with you here tonight. However, we do have a special guest a little bit later. One of our all-star volunteers, Sarah, is going to be joining us to provide her expertise and experience with peer-to-peer fundraising. And that's going to be a lot of what we're talking about tonight, because our fundraiser, the Apparating Library fundraiser, is a peer-to-peer fundraiser. Very different from the standard HPA fundraiser where usually we have a bunch of perks and we're trying to get people to buy the perks to support the cause. This time we are really asking people to put their skills and passion to work and go out and recruit donations alongside us as part of our team. So we'll get into that, but first we want to sort of talk a little bit about what we're supporting with this fundraiser. As you may know, Accio Books is kind of the HPA's flagship campaign. It's been around for a really long time. We have been doing this since 2009. We only had 1 year off during that time.
And we don't talk about that year.
we definitely don't talk about that year. It was a strange year. We, in those many years, this will be our 9th Accio Books, and in the first 8 years, we have raised over 350,000 books for a variety of community centers and libraries and schools and just people in need across the world. And we've built several libraries. We've done some advocacy work with the American Library Association, especially in recent years. So Accio Books has become this big, multifaceted, awesome annual celebration of literature and education access. And we're going to do more of that this year. Yeah. So Katie, do you want to talk about who our main partner is this year and what we're doing with them?
Yeah. So I am so excited. This year we are partnering with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Puerto Rico. And I know you hear Boys and Girls Club, but it's clubs because we're going to be working with a bunch of different clubs across the island. They have 13 clubs in total, and we've had 5 of them that have signed up to be Accio Books participants, and they are super excited about it. It's really, really cool what they're doing. So first, I'll give you a little bit of background on obviously it's Puerto Rico, and so the first thing that comes to mind is the hurricane and the aftermath. And the Boys and Girls Club played a really unique role in the recovery because they were kind of established facilities already, and they're a well-known name, and people knew that was a place that the community could go to. During the recovery, a bunch of Boys and Girls Clubs operated as community centers. Some of them were like shelters, essentially. A lot of them acted as kind of like food depots. Like if you didn't have food, they were managing a lot of the donations and you could come there. to get a meal or to get, you know, food to take home. And they also were able to maintain communication pretty well with each other. So they're all over the island and we're able to check in with other parts of the island. So even when folks might have been cut off because their phones weren't working or they didn't have electricity, they could go to the Boys and Girls Club and see how other communities were doing and see if their relatives had checked in and things like that. So they got really, really good at managing large amounts of donations and figuring out creative things to do with them, which is why they're super excited now for Accio Books, because they are they're going to do kind of two things. One is they're each going to be building little lending libraries within the clubs that are going to be a mix of books in Spanish and books in English. So that will be great. But then they are also, 3 of the clubs already have English as a second language programs, and 2 of them are looking to start them brand new. And they are going to use the books from Accio Books as supplements to the class. And so the class is not just, you know, worksheets, and they have like videos online that they use and that kind of thing. But they're also going to be able to offer stories to the students to be reading in English. And as they get, you know, progress more and more in the language, they'll be able to progress with these books, which I think is just really exciting and creative. Obviously, when we were thinking about working with Puerto Rico, the language difference was something that we were trying to think around. And I think this is a really awesome solution that they immediately were like, yes, we absolutely need this. We have immediate plans we want to put in place. And this is Accio Books is how we're going to do it. So that was super exciting. Also, the representative that I have been talking with from the Boys and Girls Clubs, his name is Francisco, and he is a Hufflepuff, and he said, well, I'm very hardworking, and I always want to make things nice for people. So I'm a Hufflepuff, and so I think I'll do a good job with this. And I was like, you totally will. We have a lot of Hufflepuffs at the HPA. So I'm really excited about it. And they said that a lot of the kids and the staff have been talking about like what their Hogwarts house is, and getting excited for not just Harry Potter books, but like all the other books that they're going to get. So it's super, super exciting. And I know also for if anyone is watching and wondering, Boys and Girls Club serves ages 6 to 18. And so we are doing a big focus on kids books, middle grade, and YA. But you can also send some adult books if you want. We encourage you to focus on the younger books, but they will also be giving adult books away to families and some other community organizations. So lots of creative things, and like a really cool way to help an organization that very much needs it and very much knows how to use it to like the most powerful way to help the community. So I'm super, super, super excited about working with them. It's going to be wonderful. And you can see some of the pictures from the Boys and Girls Club too on our Apparating Library page, apparatinglibrary.org.
Yes, and to be clear, you have to scroll down to the Impact Story donate buttons. To see pictures of those folks. The picture at the top is a past Accio Books partner, Words Alive, which is another amazing facility that does very similar things out in San Diego. They were our partner last year. So we are paying a little bit of tribute to that amazing community and having them be part of the page as well. And one thing that came up as you were speaking, Katie, I think it's super important when we decide to do a campaign where we're giving something to somebody else. We want to make sure, number one, that they need that thing,
Yes.
and that they have the ability to utilize it. So, when we're talking with a potential Accia Books partner, we spend a lot of time with them, talking out ideas and figuring out what is going to work best for them. So you can feel confident when you support the fundraiser that we're not just throwing something awesome at somebody without a plan. There's a lot of planning going on right now behind the scenes. So super exciting stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was definitely a concern for me, because you do hear about the like how people after a disaster can become like just flooded with like hundreds of rolls of toilet paper and like not stuff they actually need or something, or like tons and tons of bottled water and that's it. Um, and yeah, we really wanted to make sure that we were finding a partner who was not going to feel flooded by those books, but was going to feel like, yes, we need them, we want them, we know the best way, like we know how we're going to use them. And so it's really like, it's wonderful. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and sort of building on this, when you support our fundraiser at apparatinglibrary.org, what you're supporting is the book drive. You're supporting the coordination of a global book drive. So you're supporting, the resource development and the toolkits and everything that we provide to our chapters and members, all of the time, and it's a lot of time that goes into developing all that stuff and all the support and everything. That is what you're supporting, and then we gather the books, and our partners get the books, and they get our partnership and friendship, and all of that stuff. So it's pretty great. I think that in addition to supporting, when you're supporting this fundraiser, you're supporting our primary partner. You're also supporting our programs, and you're supporting the education and the training of fan activists. So there's a lot that you're supporting by supporting this fundraiser. So speaking of the fundraiser,
Oh, yes.
should we talk about it?
Let's do it.
All right, it's cool. So we have a small crew here, and a small but plucky and wonderful crew, and we thank you for being here. We want to give you a quick summary of this fundraiser and what's going on with it, because there are actually a lot of pieces to it. So if you go to apparatinglibrary.org, it looks pretty simple. You see a counter at the top. You see some donate buttons. You see a video, which is amazing, starring Katie, by the way.
Thanks, boss.
You see a brief story with some links, and then you see some impact buttons. And then you don't see anything after that. Oh, wait, you see some donors, some recent donors, and then that's all you see. To get to some of the hardcore info here, you have to click through to some links and go out to the resources. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Number one, this is a peer-to-peer fundraiser, as I mentioned at the top. And so we have a toolkit, really helpful toolkit that's linked in the video description below my face currently. And
my face as well.
And Katie's face. It's under both of our faces. And this toolkit is brand new, awesome resource that we developed for this fundraiser. It is a peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit. And a little bit later in the show, we're gonna go through that toolkit kind of step by step and talk about some of the elements of peer-to-peer fundraising. Because what we'd ideally love coming off of this show is for everyone who's watching it to decide to fundraise for the campaign. Peer-to-peer fundraising is pretty simple, and it's also really, really powerful. There's a lot that we do to promote our work There's a lot that we do to encourage people to donate because that's part of being a nonprofit. But I don't think there's anything we can say that's more powerful than what you can say as
Hmm.
an individual who believes in a cause. So if you have passion for literacy and you have passion for books, your ability to communicate that to the people who you love and your friends and people in your life, that is super, super powerful. And that's kind of like the energy that's being harnessed in peer-to-peer fundraising. So we'll get into that, but first, I want to sort of talk about some of the even more exciting elements of this fundraiser because, um, it's not a perk-based fundraiser, but there are perks. Um,
Hmm.
Particularly, there is what we're calling the Ivana Lynch signed book contest.
Ooh.
Very
Oh.
cool. I mean, it's already cool just
Yeah.
because Ivana Lynch is cool. But basically, what this is um, for every $10 you donate to this campaign, you get one entry into this contest. And at the end of the fundraiser, we're going to distribute the contest form. So if you've donated, say, $30, 30 divided by 10 is 3, you get to enter it 3 times. And what you'll do is complete a really fun Harry Potter themed creative activity. And then an impartial jury of your peers, aka HPA senior staff, that includes us, we will uh, we will judge who the grand prize winner should be. And there will be 2 grand prize winners, each of whom will receive a copy of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix signed by Ivana Lynch, who is amazing. She played Luna
Yeah.
Lovegood in the films.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
She's an amazing Luna Lovegood. She was one of the characters by far that, like, when she walked out on screen, it just felt like, yes, that is Luna Lovegood.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I feel like I don't know any actor in that series who more captured their character, who captured their character better. It's just remarkable. And she also Ivana is a friend of the HPA, a longtime friend and supporter of the HPA. She's also active in a variety of causes, especially animal rights and environmental issues. Um, she does a lot of amazing advocacy as an individual. So we're super psyched to have her support on this campaign. Um, However, I said there are 2 grand prize winners. We're also going to have other winners of the contest. We're going to have several runners up, and we have a variety of really cool things that our runners up will be able to choose from.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Should I should
Katie, do
I
you want to share
mention
a couple of those?
should I mention what some of them are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
We're gonna have some signed merchandise from this is I don't have the page open to read, so this is all gonna be from my memory. We
I
have
didn't either. That's why I pitched it to you.
we have some signed merchandise from uh, John Green, Rainbow Rowell, Maureen Johnson, like really, really cool author friends we're very excited about. Um, uh, and so those are going to be amazing. So you're going to have, I think, in the John Green thing, we also like that includes some stuff from the tour bundle, right?
Yeah. So these tour bundles were donated to us by one of our volunteers, actually, which is really, really cool. Actually, 2 of our volunteers, Amy and Mindy, thank you.
Yay.
They went to the tour, I assume, at the LA event on John Green's Turtles All the Way Down tour, and they picked up 2 signed copies of Turtles All the Way Down.
Hmm.
Um, I believe it also includes a tour poster,
Hmm.
a tote bag, and some other kind of like smaller swaggy things. And we have 2 of those complete bundles to give away to our runners up.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
those so variety you can get some swag, get some signed books from really cool authors. Um, so even if you were a runner up, it'll still be pretty amazing choices that you have, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, we actually just confirmed one new perk today, a
Oh
runner-up
yeah.
prize today. Yeah, so this is a report that will be put together by Emily Grassley of Brain Scoop, and it'll be a report on an animal of your choice. So the runner-up who chooses this perk, there will actually be two. Um, they will be able to choose, like if your favorite animal is a house cat, that's my favorite animal. You could ask, or you could have Emily Grassley write an exclusive special report with fun facts about house cats for you. It would be
Or you could
just for
pick some weird animal that you could Google the strangest animal you can find and
you. Hmm.
see what it is. I'm sorry, I just got distracted because I picked up this pen and was
Oh, wow.
playing with it, and it is a pen from my dentist. And I just noticed that on the pen it says, "This pen was stolen from," and that's my dentist right there.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So caught red-handed right here on the internet. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm super excited about the Emily's report because I feel like she's a real scientist and a real like educator and communicator. She has like all the background that's going to make this something really unique and special for whoever gets it. So that's going to
Yeah.
be really cool. I'm also excited. We haven't picked the task yet that people are going to have to do, but I am very excited because when we have done things like this in the past, the answers have always been very amusing, and so that's like
Definitely.
a fun bonus for us is
Right.
to benefit from all your humor,
Right, right. And we're not eligible because we're employees and also we
which is
review
garbage. No,
things.
just kidding.
We're not eligible, but our reward is reviewing all of the really creative, funny stuff that you all come up with.
Yep.
So in order to enter that contest, again, you need to donate at least $10 to the apparatinglibrary.org fundraiser. It's right there. And again, if you donate more than $10, if you donate $20, for instance, you'll get 2 entries. If you donate $100, you would get 10 entries. If you donate $3,000, you would get 300 entries. Like that keeps going. We don't have a cap.
If you're
Which
feeling super generous and super creative, you should definitely donate $3,000 and do 300 entries. We
uh,
will read every single one of them.
highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Wait, can I clarify something?
Yes.
You said if you donate $10. Also, if you fundraise $10, does that count?
Oh, you bet, Katie. In fact,
Yes.
that's a perfect segue to what I was about to say. Um,
I am the Segway queen.
that was amazing. That
You're
was
going to see
perfect.
me at GLA rolling around on a Segway, claiming my title.
Our former board president, Melissa Anelli, I have seen her operate a Segway. And I told her at the time, I've never seen her more zen, like more like at one with herself. She was like at one with the Segway, and
Mhm.
it was a beautiful thing. They were one unit for an entire weekend. Anyway, yeah,
I'm gonna be just at the beginning of being 8 months pregnant at GLA. So I think my Segway operating skills will be top notch.
I can't wait.
It'll be really good.
I have an ice cube in my mouth. So, well, I want to get into this. Okay, so before we get into the peer-to-peer fundraising workshop portion of this, there is one other element to this: uh, the uh, book contest, the signed book contest, and all of the runner-up prizes and all that stuff. It's awesome, and it's kind of the main perk for donating to the campaign. But there are other perks. Um, because this is not like a straight up perk based fundraiser, we have um, physical perks, but they're for higher sort of donation and fundraising goals. So this is where peer-to-peer fundraising really comes in. If you sign up to be a fundraiser, and you can do that on the fundraiser page by clicking fundraise for this, there's a couple easy steps to follow, and then you become a fundraiser and part of the fundraising team. You'll have access to social sharing tools and other ways to get the word out and promote your personal fundraiser to your family and friends. And you can set a goal that feels good for you. If you set one of the sort of higher goals and reach them, then you'll be getting some more perks. So at the $150 level, that's kind of our first big perk bundle. That includes a brand new You're a Wizard lapel pin, in addition to a lifetime membership in our Apparating Library book club, and also entry into that contest. Actually 15 entries, because 150 is divided by 10 is 15, math. If you donate if you raise or donate $250 total, that includes your own donations and the ones that you recruit. So if that total comes to $250, then you will get all the things from the $150 level, and you will become a member of our Order of the Phoenix Donor Society, which also comes with a bunch of perks. So the perk list becomes very long at this point. If you hit the $365 level, you get all of the exclusive physical perks that we're creating for this fundraiser. So you get the You're a Wizard lapel pin, you get a Remembrall journal, which is really, really cool.
I'm super excited about that one. It's really cute.
Yeah, it's adorable and amazing. You get a t-shirt, brand new t-shirt, which is a Hermione Granger quote t-shirt. And the quote is, "I'm hoping to do some good in the world." This is a quote that's become kind of a mantra for Granger Leadership Academy and the HPA in general. And we put it on a t-shirt, and it looks awesome.
It looks so good. I love it. I love
want
it. It's one of my favorite shirts that we have ever had.
I completely agree.
I'm going to have to start a fundraising page. Maybe I should do that while we're doing this live stream. I'll learn along with the rest of you.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Cool. And then there's one other thing, and this is appropriate to talk about today because we just got a new trailer from the Fantastic Beasts movie, Crimes of Grindelwald. And we created a button set to celebrate that film franchise. The buttons all say Dumbledore is gay on them in very bold celebratory language or lettering. And they're all different colors of the rainbow. So they are fantastic, and I would absolutely recommend wearing the entire set all over yourself to the premiere of Crimes of Grindelwald if you're going. We're not promoting the movie. But if that's your personal choice, then wear those buttons. And
whatever you do, you should just wear them all the time anyway, because they're an accurate statement and a nice fashion choice. So you really can't go wrong. Wear the truth and wear it boldly.
Indeed. I agree.
It'll look good on you. How big are the buttons going to be? Are they like this size? This is about the size of the wizard emoji buttons.
I actually don't know, but probably that.
Okay.
Probably that size. I think that's the size Acacia. And Acacia is the person who designs all of our merch, and she is amazing. And I think that's about the size she aims for.
This is about the size my button maker makes, and this is a good size button, especially if you're going to wear all 6 of them at once as some sort of like necklace situation. I dropped it.
Oh gosh, have we hit the 1 a.m. goof?
Yeah, right. It comes much earlier now.
I mean, the show only goes till 9:30, so there's only so much time.
Yeah, we have to start early. How many buttons come in the pack? 6. 6 buttons.
6 buttons.
1 for each color of the rainbow minus indigo, because that's basically purple.
Yep, you know your rainbows. That's amazing.
Thank you. I was a briefly an art major in college, so
Really?
yes,
Wow, that's cool.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
way back in the day. And I took a couple of college art classes, and we're like, boy, I hate this. Like I like art, and I hate doing it for you guys. So so then I switched. If anybody's in college and wondering if it's too late for you, it's not. There's always a chance to start fresh.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
Um,
You're going to be forced into doing it a lot no matter what. So why not revel in it?
this is true from my
Yeah.
experience.
Mhm.
Absolutely true. Um, well, okay. So one more thing until we get into the fundraising stuff. We currently, I guess we should like set a goal for this live stream a half hour in.
Mhm.
So currently the fundraiser is at $1,120, which is awesome because we launched like
Yay.
not that long ago, like
Mhm.
9 hours ago. So we have hit $1,000 in our first day, which is amazing. But we still have 20, we have to do that 24 more times to hit our goal because our goal is 25,000. So currently we are at $1,120. Let's see if we can get to 1,500 by the end of
Yeah.
this live stream. What do you think?
I think we can do it. I have some suggestions for how people could do it. Is one, listen to the toolkit that we're going to be discussing, but also be talking about this live stream on social media. And you can use hashtag Apparating Library and include the link to the fundraiser and encourage people to donate, because that is normally how things work on the live streams. Like, we encourage everyone watching to donate as well, but the big thing that helps is getting the word out about it during the live stream.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can talk to us on YouTube, but also talk to us on Twitter and include the link to the fundraiser. Carolyn would
Cool.
like to pie you if we hit $1,500. I think if we hit $2,000, you could get pied.
Yes. Yes.
Dude.
If we hit $2,000, I will allow myself to be pied at Granger Leadership Academy.
Oh, nice. And we'll post it on the internet so anyone who's not there can see it.
Correct. Yes. I would say tonight, but we don't have any pie in this household, which is an oversight, I admit.
Yeah, honestly. At $3,000, Matt will allow that little creepy baby on his shoulder to fight him.
Um, I was joking to Katie about how the creepy baby was behind me and that somebody would notice. So there you go. That is a doll that belongs to my 2-year-old son.
I keep my creepy baby in front of me at all times lately.
Interesting.
My
Um,
baby's not creepy. Sorry, let's move on. Should we talk about the toolkit?
we really should, because in 8 minutes, our friend Sarah is going to join us, and that was supposed to happen about halfway through the workshop. So we haven't started yet, but that's okay. We aren't gonna, I mean, we don't have to go through this word by word, but again, if you want to follow along with the toolkit, the link is right there in the video description. Um, and really, like, this is such a great thing because it's very, very accessible in terms of you don't have to be an expert fundraiser to engage in peer-to-peer fundraising. It's really all about um, expressing how you feel about something and getting other people to get excited about it with you,
Mhm.
which is something that we do as fans all the time. We talk about the books we love, we talk about the stories and the films we love, and we, you know, as a result, there's culture that builds around those stories that is generated by our enthusiasm. And I
Mhm.
think that sort of dynamic exists with peer-to-peer fundraising, where if we have 10 people who are really, really excited about the cause, that can very quickly become 300 people.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So starting with the first big headline here, what is peer-to-peer fundraising? Um, really, really simple. It's something that happens from a person to their peers. So you are an individual person, you have peers in your life, you have friends, you have colleagues, you have classmates, you have family members. Those are all your peers. And you can introduce them to something awesome just by talking to them. And if they feel if they sense your passion about that thing, if they sense your enthusiasm, that becomes infectious and they want to know why you're so excited. And that really is kind of the energy that drives peer-to-peer fundraising.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, you all already know how to do it because you're already big fans and you know how to talk to other people about how much you love something. And so this is um, probably something that a lot of folks already do, which is talking about why they love the HPA so much. I know I talk about it a lot, and I know that a lot of you do as well. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of it's like geeking out with a purpose, which is what you're all pros at already. I kind of cut you off, Matt. I felt like you were in a flow.
no, I felt actually the opposite, that that was a very natural place for you to talk.
Mm, excellent,
I think
excellent.
we should have a live stream review session right now.
Yeah, let's assess how we're doing. I think we're doing good. I'm proud of us.
I think we're doing great too.
Excellent. Cool.
um, so uh, to demonstrate like the actual power of peer-to-peer fundraising, this is really all you need to know. That every time an individual asks their peer groups to donate to a cause, that ask generates nearly $40 in donations. That's something that is true across all platforms that have peer-to-peer fundraising as their structure. So if you go right now and ask your family and friends to donate to this campaign, particularly if you have a fundraising page already set up and you want it to count
Mhm.
towards your fundraising milestones. Um, it'll generate $40. It may not do it immediately, but at the very least, you might get one donation or you might get none, but you'll have 4 or 5 people who say, okay,
Yeah.
I might not do this right this moment, but by April 14, which is the end of this fundraiser, they're going to make that donation. Um,
Hmm.
so,
And they do it because they want, like, they believe in the cause that you're talking about, but also they're doing it because they believe in you and they like you and want to support the things that you care about, you know? Like, I've definitely donated to causes that I was not as familiar with, but because it was something that, somebody I cared about was really, really passionate about. Um, and it just you want to support the people that you care about. So,
mhm.
and plus, a lot of people really like Harry Potter, and so when you tell them, here's an organization that's all about Harry Potter, they get excited, and then you say, and they're using the money to help send books and resources to Puerto Rico this year. And then they go, oh my gosh, I can't not donate. Let's do it. At least that's how
Mhm.
I expect that it will go.
I mean, I think that's a huge part of it because, you see, especially on Facebook now, you see everyone starting personal fundraisers all the time for causes that they feel really passionate about. So you see all these different fundraisers happening all the time
Mhm.
in your newsfeed and in your friend list and whatever else you got going on there on Facebook. And really, like ultimately, personally, I find that in individuals, something coming from my friends is much more compelling than sort of the well thought out, well developed pitch
Mhm.
that an organization has been using for 5 years. And
Right.
that's something I think about all the time with the HPA. Like I personally, like I do a lot of the messaging around fundraisers. I write a lot of that stuff. And then I'll go and see one of our volunteers fundraising for the HPA on Facebook, and I'm like, that's so brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? But that's the difference. Is like they're talking about it Not that I don't have my own individual love for the HPA, obviously I do, but they're talking about it from their own individual experience. And I think that's super, super powerful. Yeah. Um, so that's the power of peer-to-peer fundraising in a nutshell. So more specific to this campaign, is how to set up your fundraising page. And before our friend Sarah joins us, I do want to just cover this really briefly. So setting up a fundraising page on Give Lively, which is a brand new awesome platform that we're partnering with for this campaign, it's super easy. When you go to apparatinglibrary.org, you'll see at the top there is a picture of adorable children. And then sort of on top of that picture is are two buttons. One that says Donate Now, also highly recommended use of that button. But then there's Fundraise for This. And you click on Fundraise for This to initiate the process of setting up your fundraiser. And then from there, it's just a couple easy things. You put your name down. You add a note, sort of a heartfelt note explaining why you're fundraising for this campaign, why reading matters to you, why Harry Potter matters to you, why the HPA matters to you. Tell your story and tell people, why you're supporting this campaign by fundraising for it. And then the last component of setting up your page is just choosing a goal. Whether you want to fundraise and get some of those awesome perk incentives that come in at the 150, 250, and 365 level. Or if you have a different goal that's meaningful to you in some other way, set a goal that's meaningful to you and that you feel good about and confident in. And then launch your page. And from there, it's really a matter of once you have that page set up, that becomes kind of your home base for promoting your personal fundraiser. And Katie, you might know a thing or two about one of the biggest tools that you can use to promote a personal fundraiser.
I might. Is it, I'm sorry, I was distracted because I was setting up a fundraising page for Draco Malfoy.
So you are Slytherin. Wow.
Yeah, I figured dig in, go all the way. If you look, you can see here's my fundraising page that I set up for Draco. It says a note from Draco Malfoy. It says I love Harry Potter and I want his alliance to succeed. I'm gonna continue to expand on it as time goes on, but in a brief moment, I thought I just really want to summarize the important stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna make a bit.ly for that so it's easy to find, but I think it'll be probably bit.ly/Draco loves Harry. So you can visit that in a couple minutes if you would like to donate and help Draco Malfoy be successful. So that's one tool that I know how to use is using your humor. A great place to show. Oh, I just realized now you're watching me go to bit.ly.
That is true.
Hold on. I got to turn my screen share off. How do I do that? You are screen sharing. It's not presenting me with an option to stop.
Should I just make noise until you figure this out?
No, because I'm gonna. Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to. It's not letting me turn my screen share off.
This
wait,
is bizarre.
Wait.
Oh, there you are. Yay!
Hooray! Yay! Like I said, we're doing really great. So the other thing, so if you're going to make your page funny, if you're going to make your page sappy, if you're going to make it heartfelt, whatever you're going to do, you should highlight it on social media.
Wow.
Yes, the sonorous charm of the internet. So once you have your page set up, there are a bunch of social media sharing tools kind of right there. Did you talk about this while I was setting up Draco Malfoy's page? Did you mention these tools?
No.
All right, very good. I was listening closely.
About social media, so I would love it for you to explain.
Great. So you can use the Facebook and the Twitter buttons that are already on there, and it will auto generate a tweet for you. You're welcome to use that, but I also recommend that you add, your own story. You're like, that's the power of peer-to-peer, is you putting your voice into it, why it's important to you, or if you're, doing a funny character thing, you want to come up with something creative to say from that character, whatever it is. And especially, that's especially important on, well, anywhere where you have like a close knit following of people who are close to you. I know sometimes, like on Tumblr, you can have like tons of people following who you don't know each other, but maybe on Facebook it's a lot of people who are really close to you in your life. And so you want to use that space to really tell why this is so important to you, and why you think it should be important enough to them to donate. Um, so yeah, so they just have buttons right now for Facebook and Twitter, and then also for email, I think. But you do not have to limit yourself to those two platforms. You can copy the link and put it on anything you use, really. MySpace,
Mhm.
Ello,
Friendster.
Friendster. Yeah, all the big ones. Instagram, if you're going to put it on Instagram, I do recommend making it into like a bit.ly or like a Google shortened link or something like that, because it's not always easy to get to links on Instagram, although you could make it a link on your profile. And yeah, Snapchat, wherever it is you spend your time on the internet, you can use that. It's
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Hello. Can you hear me
Hey.
okay?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Great.
Hooray.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
We're
I'm
doing
excellent, thank you.
We're doing fantastic. I figured out how to stop sharing my screen. That was having
I
some
was watching.
struggles.
I saw that.
Cool. Nice. I figured it out, though. It's all good. So yeah, we were just talking about social media. I think I kind of wrapped it up, but just use their sharing buttons. Where there isn't a sharing button, just copy your link and use your own creative voice. And if you want to be silly, you can make a bit.ly that says Draco loves Harry, which I'm going to do right now, so you'll all have access to it.
Yeah, and we certainly encourage, you might choose to create a fundraising page under your own name, and that is totally fine.
Yes.
Or you might choose to create a fundraising page that has Madam Pince as the organizer. And then you could take a really creative approach to organizing a fundraiser that Madam Pince would put together, right? Relevant because she's a librarian. And you can get creative if you have a clever idea that might play well to some weird corner of the internet. Get creative. So one of the reasons why we asked, by the way, hello, Sarah, and thank you so much for being here.
Yay.
Of course.
What do you do at the HPA, Sarah?
I am the volunteer campaigns manager at the HPA, so I work really closely with Katie in managing the volunteers in our campaigns department and doing project management for a bunch of different stuff that we do that is campaigns related.
Sarah holds the campaigns department together. This is a brief summary of what she does.
Well, that's rad. So you're probably going to be involved with Accio Books, I would assume.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. Cool. Well, one of the reasons why we asked you to come on the show tonight is because you had outstanding success as one of our peer-to-peer fundraisers last year during Friends of the Apparating Library 2017. You raised over $500 for the campaign, which is totally amazing.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear kind of, your insight on peer-to-peer fundraising and any sort of helpful tips that you could share with our wonderful viewers.
Yeah. Sorry. I was really surprised with my success last year. I think it was a bit unexpected because fundraising always seems so daunting and like really terrifying to me, asking people for money. And so it's been a really cool to see the success that I've had with both the last Accio Books peer-to-peer campaign and the Giving Tuesday stuff. So yeah, personally, I would just right off the bat say, if you're scared about this, if it seems scary, like, it really doesn't have to be. So starting off with like setting up your page, I think that one of the things that I really try to do is take some time in the beginning. I know that you were talking about the little notes section where you put your story. I always try to make mine personal, passionate, and also specific. So when I was setting up my page earlier today, I knew that I wanted to talk about really briefly, so that it's not too long, talk about how reading has impacted my life, specifically in the way that, like, I can remember when my mom would read to me when I was a young child, and how now my full-time job involves is at an organization that advocates for reading. And so that is basically what I said in my little story section. And so whatever kind of like personal connection you can put that's very specific like that, I would recommend. And I would also try and, as a tip, make it something that is more than, just I'm supporting Accio Books because I love reading, and try and dig a little deeper and say, like, why do you love reading? Like, what is it about it that affects your life? Or even like, how does it affect your community? Or what is Accio Books doing to improve the larger community, like even globally? Anything that's like a bit more specific than I love reading would be my tip. And after I set up my page, I like to be the first one to donate towards my goal. And I understand that this might not be possible for everyone, and even just setting up a page is amazing, and sharing that out. But if you can, I just think it shows that I'm financially invested in this fundraiser as well. And I don't know, I think it helps when I'm sharing it out to show people that that I'm a little bit there already, that I'm on my way towards my goal. And then my next step would be to send an email to my family and friends. And again, in that email, I try and be specific and passionate. So I know, for example, my partner's family has tons of relatives in Puerto Rico. And so that is going to be something that I would definitely emphasize in my email to them, because that's a very personal connection. And so finding anything like that, or being able to just explain your story passionately again, is really important. And then I also post on social media. And for me, that sometimes feels a little overwhelming, because I want to craft something that's really just like explains my passion and my story. And so I actually like to schedule time in my planner to post on social media about this campaign, and that helps me carve out the time to actually do it and really sit down and accomplish that. So that might be a weird quirk of mine, but I find it useful to take the time to really put something on social media that I think that people will relate to and will get them engaged in my campaign. And I do try and post a few times throughout the campaign, and maybe make the message a little bit different each time. So maybe one time I'll post about like my specific story with Accio Books, and then the next time I'll post about the specific recipient site, because I think people engage with different messages.
That's smart. I think scheduling time is very Ravenclaw of you.
Yeah.
Totally fits.
Yeah.
Those are smart. Yeah. Once. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, it's not surprising at all that you had so much success, because these are all amazing tips, and definitely, this definitely elevates the materials that we've put out there, and it's really, really cool to get this perspective and kind of get a glimpse into your process. So really cool.
Great. I'm glad they're helpful. I do think also that like one of the biggest things, which you both were talking about earlier, is just being vocal about the HPA all the time, whenever I can and whenever I feel it's appropriate, because I've definitely noticed in the last few years, as I've emailed friends and family and posted on social media about these campaigns, that more and more people are participating. So, 2 years ago or so, if I emailed my family about a campaign, I might get like 1 or 2 people who would donate. And now it's more and more each time. Or I have like friends and family, or even my coworkers at work who, if it's my birthday and there's an HPA campaign that I've been talking about at the time, they automatically donate to it. And I don't have to, it's not something that I have to ask for. They just know that that's what I want now. And so that's definitely more of like a long game tip, is just to keep talking about the HPA. And people, even if they're not donating at the moment, I think that people pay attention and they start to recognize even just words like Accio Books and the Harry Potter Alliance and the HPA. And when they know that something's happening, they'll be more likely to donate. Just sometimes you don't even have to ask.
They associate it. You know how sometimes like you tell people you like Harry Potter, and then for the next like 7 years, people buy you like random Harry Potter things where they're just like, you'll like it, it's Harry Potter. Or it's a wizard, you'll like it, and doesn't have anything to do with Harry Potter. If you talk about the Harry Potter Alliance enough, then they'll start doing that, but for the HPA.
Yeah, I actually made that switch a few years ago, and it's been really effective.
Nice.
Yeah, people are really into the HPA.
Yep. And then really the last thing that I had as a tip was, and I think this is in the toolkit as well, is like, don't be afraid to follow up after you've sent out an email to someone or talk to someone about it. And I went to a fundraising boot camp thing for my work and got some really good tips from that. And one of the things was how face-to-face fundraising is really the most effective. And I think a lot of success happens online and through social media as well. But if you're asking people in your, peer networks and you do see them face-to-face, it can be really effective to talk to them about it in person. And I still find this really difficult and sometimes awkward. But one thing that I learned that was really helpful at that workshop was that when you're talking to someone about fundraising face-to-face, it really doesn't have to be you giving an elevator pitch about the organization or the fundraiser. And really the goal of those interactions should be to have the other person talk. And so they suggested things like asking what they called power questions. So in this case, it would be things that are like meaningful questions that are designed to get the other person talking. So for Accio Books, it might be something like, what's your relationship with literacy? Or when did you first identify as a reader? And from there, just having a conversation with the person and asking them, and then getting into the details of the campaign once you've identified what they would most relate with based on their answers to those questions. So yeah, that's the last thing really that I have that I found very helpful from that workshop.
That's a key organizer's tip as well. Like that's how you pull someone into working on a campaign is like talking to them and saying like, well, what are you really passionate about? Like, what do you want to see change? And kind of talking about like, oh, hey, well, I think at the HPA, that relates to your passion for reading or literacy, or like, oh, like we're working on this same issue that you care about. Like you should totally come help with it. Yeah, that's it's cool. Of course, that makes sense in fundraising. Yeah, they totally teach that in organizing too. So, what a good tip. These are excellent, excellent tips here. Everyone should do all of these. It's really just talking to people.
Yeah.
Mostly it's talking to people you care about, and it feels awkward because you're talking about money, but you don't spend most of the time talking about money.
Yeah.
You spend most of the time like just talking about like fun stuff you're passionate about. Who doesn't do that? You're already doing that for free, so
Yeah.
Cool. Matt, what's next?
Great. Well, I mean, thank you again. That's really amazing and valuable insight, and especially helpful. There is a fun fact I want to share with you all, which is that at the beginning of this live stream, we had 17 people signed up to fundraise for the campaign, which is amazing. And over the course of the last hour, 3 more people have signed up to fundraise.
Yay!
I'm pretty sure they're all here, so including Draco Malfoy. So, so I'm sure that all of our new fundraisers have benefited from hearing all of these amazing insights. And we have like 26 minutes left. I wanted to also give a quick fundraising update. We had set an ambitious goal of hitting $1,500 during this live stream. We are still at 11:20, so I'm going to call this the live stream in which we recruited fundraisers.
Yay!
So one mission accomplished. But we have 25 minutes left. If you all are interested in helping us get to 1,500 in the next 25 minutes, one way you can do that is to go to apparatinglibrary.org and choose the donation level that is best for you. We have lots of cool options there that we've chatted about. The other option is if you have a fundraising page, go out and promote it and use those social sharing tools that are provided right there on your page. Go to the social media platform of your choice, draft an email, do something to start spreading the word about your personal fundraiser using some of these awesome tips that we just got from Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Sarah, you're totally welcome to stick around. We're going to go through the rest of this toolkit. Some of it kind of overlaps with a lot of the things that you shared, which is cool. So it's totally up to you if you want to stick around, or if you have things to do, feel free to depart and leave us here by our lonesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to head out, but have fun. Sorry.
That's okay. We'll miss you. You killed it.
I have a little puppy to go walk before the sun sets, so
Aww.
that's what I'll be doing.
Is your puppy still in a cone?
Yes, but only until tomorrow. So that's very exciting.
Yay! Is your puppy convenient to you? Could we see your puppy? If it's not convenient, that's all right. She camera shy. I don't want to pressure you.
No. Hold on.
Done.
It's just a real cute dog, and it's in a cone.
Can you bring Coco over here?
Not sure.
This is where Sarah usually sits when we have our meetings.
Yes. Okay, hold on. Headphones in the way. This is Coco.
Oh, puppy.
Say hi. That's her.
She's so cute. I didn't want to talk while she was there because I didn't want the camera to jump at me.
I realized as soon as I started talking, I was like, oh, this is terrible. What am I doing?
This is adorable. Thank you for that special guest star.
You're welcome.
Please let Coco know we loved it.
I will let her know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Thanks, Sarah.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Have a great night.
You too.
See you soon at GLA.
That puppy totally reminds me. I was going to incentivize donations by promising my cats to be on the live stream.
All right, not too late.
I completely forgot. Yeah, that's true. We have 22 minutes. All right. Well, we want to get to 1,500. Actually, we want to get to 2,000 because that's when I put pie on my face. 1,500. What was the thing we were going to do? Nothing. We were just going to celebrate, right?
Yes. That could
forget.
be why it's not working.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we get to where it's still, let's see. Let me refresh again to be sure.
Mhm.
Oh, wait. Hold the phone.
Things
We
are
are at,
happening.
yeah, things are happening. We received 2 donations in the past couple minutes. Thank you so much. We are at $1,150. So
What a nice round number.
it's beautifully round. We've had like weird numbers so far most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get to, let's say, 1,250, so that's $100 in the next 21 minutes, my cats will make an appearance on the live stream.
Yay!
Yeah. They're named
Beautiful.
Sam and Frodo. They used to be internet celebrities.
And now they're making a comeback. If you help.
Maybe.
If you help. Matt and I both have Lord of the Rings themed cats.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cat named Gandalf.
They have to meet someday.
And Matt and I knew each other for a fairly long time before we made that connection.
Like a really long time.
Just all of a sudden we were like, wait a minute. All right.
Shameful.
Speaking of journeys, let's keep journeying through this toolkit.
Yeah. So Sarah brought up a really good point, which is that you can use email as a really effective tool for promoting your personal fundraiser. But email comes with certain traps. So in the toolkit, we've put in some suggestions for making your email positively charming.
Enchanting.
Enchanting.
Transfiguration. Yeah. Potions.
Sorry,
I'll stop.
Defense against the dark arts. Care of magical creatures. Okay.
Yes.
So the first tip with email is do not send mass email. Just don't do it. Resist the urge. Do not send mass email. Send one-on-one correspondence. It's just more meaningful. And you can, with each person you're emailing, let's say you're going to email 10 friends and family. You know all of them really well, and perhaps a way to sort of frame what you're saying in that email that will connect with them. And whether it's a book that you've connected with them in the past and you both really, really love, if you're talking to your parents, talking about the stories that they shared with you when you were a child, things like that. Super, super good way to connect with people and speak to them honestly about your passion. That said, if you do have kind of a group of people who you typically communicate with as a group, such as, for example, my wife, Lauren, I often communicate with her family all in a big group text. So that would be a great place to talk about the fundraiser because we kind of have an ongoing, almost daily correspondence in that group text. So, there are exceptions to the rule, but if you're doing email, I think one-on-one is really ideal.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to write it totally fresh each time. Like it's okay to copy and paste things into the email, but just change up the parts change up certain parts to make it personalized and make it connect with the person you're sending it to.
Absolutely. I would say a bare minimum is address the correct person.
Don't just start it with, hi.
Yeah, right. Or, yeah, also calling everyone Uncle Phil is probably not good.
Unless that's like your thing that your friend group is into, then, you do you.
It might be. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Who knows? I don't. So the next tip is that a good subject line can often be the most important thing, particularly because if it's a bad subject line, people might not open the email. So I've been writing fundraising emails for the HPA now for 3 years, and I've come up with what I think is the perfect subject line. These are the two elements. One is try to get to as close to 65 characters as possible. That seems very oddly specific, but when you think about subject line length and you think about your inbox, a 65 character subject line will it won't be like obnoxiously long, and it also won't be short. It'll be kind of in the middle, and that often will stick out in your inbox. So visually, it's just kind of a sweet spot. The other thing is that it gives you enough room to follow the second half of this tip, which is your subject line should actually tell people what they're about to read. There was a brief time in like 2012 when super clever email subject lines were the thing. Those are now out of fashion, and people just want to know what they're reading. So being really straightforward about what you're sharing with people is often the best way to go. So the example I have in this toolkit is if you were emailing your friend Hermione Granger and you wanted her to support a literacy campaign like Apparating Library, your subject line could be, Hermione, join me in supporting this important literacy campaign. And that tells Hermione exactly what she's about to read. She loves books, so she's probably going to be interested in a literacy campaign. And she also will probably appreciate that you said her name in the subject line. So you are taking the time to address a person directly and respect who they are as an individual. Mm-hmm. So that's an example, and it works. I found those things work for me.
Can I share a brief story that I think all of Matt's advice is what you should do. And now I'm going to share my favorite email I ever received from a company, which does not match any of that advice. But it was during Barack Obama's first campaign. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about this before, but I got an email that the sender was Beyonce Knowles. And then the subject line just said, "We haven't talked in a while." And I immediately opened it because I was like, what the hell is this?
So when I was joking about that style of email subject line going out of fashion, mm-hmm. It was actually Barack Obama's campaigns that
did it.
Yeah, I mean, they really they were brilliant at the time because they were totally fresh and totally different, and people weren't used to seeing that type of stuff. But a lot of people have tried to imitate those types of subject lines, and now they've become, it's like every other one is trying to be clever, and then therefore they aren't clever anymore. So, but yeah, those Barack Obama's campaign emails were amazing, mm-hmm. amazing. So many positive memories.
So the body of your email, what should that be like?
Yeah, I shouldn't talk too much about that. Anyway, the body of the email should be concise. Number one, it should not be a novel, but it also shouldn't be like one sentence. You really ideally want to strike a balance. So you want to get all the main points out there in your email. You want links. You want all the information people need to make an informed decision. You also want your story in that email. You want to really begin by explaining why you're advocating for this cause. But the total email should be like 2 to 3 paragraphs, short paragraphs that really get to the heart of what you're trying to convey. And use links, use bold text to convey major points. One thing you'll see in HPA emails a lot is that certain sentences are bolded. And one thing I try to do when I write an email is that if somebody just reads the bolded sentences, they would still come away knowing everything they need to know. So links will be bolded within a bolded sentence so that, there might be 3 sentences that are bolded. You don't have time. You don't want to read the whole thing, but you scan, you see those bolded sentences, and you come away knowing, okay, they're doing a literacy advocacy campaign and I need to donate. And there you go. And then the final little tip here is that oftentimes people will scan an email. and then something that is sort of dangling at the bottom might catch their attention. So use postscripts to your advantage. One last call to action works really, really well as a PS. And people oftentimes will see it, more than they notice something that's in like the second paragraph.
And often people expect postscripts. They think it's going to be something exciting because it was so exciting you just had to include it. So then you'll trick them into reading it even if they haven't read the rest of it.
Yep, totally. Like you're sharing some kind of exciting secret.
Mm-hmm. When you're just like, here's the secret. I know you don't really read email. So click on this link.
A Barack Obama campaign email once.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we have about 11 more minutes. So I think, Katie, you'd be a great person to cover this next section because it very closely mirrors something that you had a hand in putting together, which is Neville Longbottom's Guide to Challenging Conversations.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, the gist here is like, it can be awkward to fundraise, but be like Neville Longbottom and don't sweat the awkward.
Just dig in and do it. Live the awkward and know that it will be okay. But yeah, I mean, one of the easy things you can do is to just head the awkwardness off at the past and just be totally honest of what you're asking from people. And so you're not writing a long email to get caught up and do this and do that. And like, oh, by the way, could you also donate $50 to this? But kick it off by saying, I'm going to ask you for a $50 donation, or I'm going to ask you for a $20 donation, or $100, whatever, you feel like is within their range, for a cause that's really important to me. And here's why I think you should donate, or here's why I think you should say yes. Because again, like we talked about, like kind of the clever clickbaity stuff has left people exhausted, and I think people just enjoy like the honesty and upfrontness, and so that one's a good one to do. And then when you are talking about whether it's over email or social media or in person, put your passion into it. Explain that, like, because everybody hears about so many different causes in a day and so many different things that we have to care about. And you really want to tell like your story of like, why is the HPA important to you? Why is Accio Books important to you? Why is making sure that people have access to books so important to you? What is it that has happened in your life that has made this such a big deal? And also, like, how is them donating going to impact your life? Like, it's going to make you feel really good and supported or proud, and you're excited to have them be a part of this campaign with you, kind of whatever it is. But help them feel invested, like, in you and in helping you as well. And so the next tip we have is be respectfully persistent, which Sarah kind of hit on as well, that she'll tell the story a couple of times, but she'll tell like different elements of it sometimes, and talking about her own experience with reading, and then talking about the story behind the partner, and then talking about the story behind the HPA, whatever. But the big thing is, like, everybody's got a lot going on. They've got a lot on their plate. And so it can be easy to really want to donate to something and not be able to do it right in that moment, and then forget about it, And so if you just talk to somebody once and then they don't donate, it could be because they didn't want to donate, or it could just be because like they couldn't do it at the moment that they read your message and they need a reminder. And when you send them a reminder of like, oh, hey, like, just FYI, like, here's something else cool about the fundraiser, or like, hey, I want you to know that the deadline is coming up and I'd really love to have you participate. That can be really helpful to people. You know, you don't want to like talk to them about it every single day, or you know, if it felt like you know, they weren't into it when you talked to them, you don't want to like press them on it. But you just want to be real that probably most people are interested and just weren't able to do it in the moment for whatever reason. So it's important to follow up, you know, because people will surprise you. This, you also, I briefly touched on this, but you want to be realistic with what you're asking people. You know, take into account like their current employment status, and you know, if they're having any financial trouble in their own home. You really want to ask folks who are you reasonably believe that they're going to be able to donate, and you want to ask them an amount that you think is reasonable for them to donate. And so you want to take a minute, like if you're sending out emails to 10 different people, you want to take a minute and sort of think, is this someone that I should ask for $10? Is this someone who could do $50? You know, kind of think through that. Because that's just considerate to people. Like, not only is it make it more effective, but it's considerate. And then express your gratitude when they do donate. That's like super important. Like, send them a thank you note, tell them how excited you are. Depending on if you want to, there are, when we did our Giving Tuesday campaign, I made cookies for people who donated because it was around the holidays and I wanted to be festive anyway. And so I did that. But just find a way to like personally, one-on-one, express your gratitude to the person, because that will make them feel really good. It will make them want to help in the future. And so just, yeah. And you can use some of the language from our page also to see, like, you know, if they donated 50 books, we know that $1 donated to Friends of the Apparating Library usually translates to about at least one book. So you can tell them if they donated $50, you can say, you know, thank you so much. This donation is going to put at least 50 books into the hands of kids in need. It's cool. So then they feel good. They know they had an impact. They know they help you. Yeah. So that is really important to do. And then, yeah, after that, in the toolkit, we do have some pre-written stuff. If you're feeling like you're not sure where to start, we have made it very easy. You can start in this section right there and just grab some text from there, and then insert your personal fundraiser link, maybe change things up to be in your voice, add a little bit of your story. But you don't have to start totally from scratch if you don't want to.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know, real quick, the last section here in the toolkit covers something that, again, it can be an anxiety if you are, you know, engaging in peer-to-peer fundraising for the first time or whatever. The fear of rejection is real. But I think it's important to remember that, especially in fundraising, rejection happens all the time, like most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, if you are able to reach, you know, 15 people when you post, or 50 people when you post, you know, you might get one person who donates immediately, and then, you know, you might get 3 or 4 people who eventually donate. And that might be all that comes of it. And that's totally fine, because ultimately people have reasons for donating or not donating, and they have to do what's best for them. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's going to be something that happens. And I think the really big thing to remember is that there are those people who won't donate immediately, but if you give up, they definitely won't donate. So, follow up. And especially if you sense that somebody is interested, definitely follow up with them. Give them some time to think about it, to do whatever they need to do in their lives. Don't harass them, please. But definitely find a time to follow up. And it might be the next time you see them. It might be the next time you talk to them. Hey, did you give any thought to what I told you about the Harry Potter Alliance? Find a way to bring it up that is not aggressive, but that keeps it on their radar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And J.K. Rowling got rejected from a bunch of publishers when she wrote Harry Potter, so it's not a big deal to get rejected. All you need is a couple of people to say yes, and so yeah. So just keep trying.
Yep. Absolutely. And thus concludes our toolkit, which is pretty cool. But again, that is linked in the video description below us, and you can bookmark that. It is there for you. And again, it's easy to set up your personal fundraiser if you haven't already. We've had a few people watching this live stream who have, which is amazing. Thank you for doing that. But if you haven't yet, go to apparatinglibrary.org, click fundraise for this. Set up your personal fundraiser and enjoy this awesome, helpful toolkit that'll get you started.
Yay.
I do want to mention, because we've hit the end point of this live stream, but I want to mention real quick before you go that we did not hit our milestone of $1,250, which would have triggered the appearance of my cats. And all 8 of you who have been here for a while, thank you. You are still here. So if you want to see my cat, it's really just one of my cats.
We deserve cats.
We deserve cats. Sam, I don't know where Sam is, but Frodo is right over here. He is adorable. He is cuddling in a blanket with himself. He's really cute. So you probably want to see him.
Let's see one cat.
One cat. One cat. All we need is $40. We are at 1,210. We need to be at 250.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep refreshing until it happens.
Me too. I'm going to do that as well. Maybe, how about you refresh and I'll talk about something?
Like your cat?
I guess I could tell you more about this fundraiser. So some essential info for anyone who wants to support it, either with a donation or by fundraising for it. The deadline is April 14, and at that point, the fundraiser will be over. So we're hoping to get to $25,000 by April 14, and your personal fundraiser will be a huge part of us hitting that goal. Right after that, we're launching Accio Books, I believe on the 16th, right?
Yes, April 16th. Woo!
Yeah. So Accio Books 2018, funded by this very fundraiser, will be going live on the 16th. And it's going to be amazing. Yeah. So we have until April 14 to recruit fundraisers and to have those folks go out and convince their friends and family that this is a cause worth supporting, and I think it is. So, we hope to be celebrating with you all on April 14, hitting our $25,000 goal.
Yay! I'm sorry, I'm composing a tweet in order to be able to see Frodo, because I really want to be able to see him.
I mean, he's right over there. All I would have to do is go like, nope, we haven't hit the goal yet. Sorry.
This is torture. Help. Help. Who can fix this problem?
This is so sad.
Oh, it's okay.
Hey, Frodo. Do you want to be on this live stream?
Frodo.
I know cats
be
aren't very
seen.
expressive.
All right. I just tweeted it from the HPA account. We'll see if that helps. Oh, I should have tagged it hashtag this is us. That's trending right now.
No spoilers.
I can't spoil you because I just started watching it like last week. So no problem. No, but in a nice way. I was worried it was going to be painful all the time. And I know pain is coming, but I'm excited about it.
It's very relatable pain. It's all life stuff, which I think is what they're going for.
Yeah.
It's good. I enjoy it. Also, I'm a Mandy Moore fan, so
she's a really good actress.
She's great on This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I know. I mean, she was great in Saved. She was great in that other stuff she's been in also. It's ticking up. It's not there. I got so excited.
Is it closer?
It's not closer.
It always looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't like how it like slowly counts up at the end. It makes me think like, oh, this is it. We're gonna get it this time. Oh man, Melody Sutton donated $50 just 19 minutes ago.
Thank you, Melody.
Yeah, thank you, Melody. You're very close. Who will be the next Melody? And get us an adorable cat. If this cat's not adorable, Matt, I'm going to be really mad.
No, we didn't do it.
Nobody tell Matt.
Oh, it's the cat on.
Yay, thanks, Frodo.
There you go.
The hero of his own story.
You know what? You all have stuck with us, and I so appreciate it. So here's my cat. That's Frodo. Hey, Frodo, do you want to? There you go.
Aww,
isn't he cute?
He's cute.
Aww.
He's adorable. He's adorable. Look, he's very loaf-like right now.
Yeah, he's a loaf. That's basically his whole game. He's really cute, though. Hey, buddy.
How old is he?
6.5.
Aww.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, he's my best bud.
Cute.
Yep. So this is Frodo and Sam. I don't know where Sam is, but I'm hearing a lot of like weird noises. So I think that's where Sam is.
It's either Sam or your baby, one of those two.
I hope the baby is asleep. So we did not. You all got the cat bonus without.
Well deserved.
Us hitting the 1250, but if you we could do this retroactively. As we close, I want to give you one more motivation to support and get us to 1250 in the next few minutes. That is our house cup. I don't think we've talked up our house cup.
Oh yeah, talk about that real quick.
Yeah, we have this house cup. We've set up personal fundraising pages, just like the ones you all set up as individuals. Personal fundraising pages, one for each Hogwarts house. There's a Gryffindor one, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. So whatever your house affiliation, there is a personal fundraising page for you. And the way the House Cup works is that on April 14, the house that has raised the most money for the campaign, all of the people who donated to that house will win a special perk. And that perk is an invitation to an exclusive live stream show featuring Kirsten Hippie, who is an amazing songwriter and a friend of mine, and also somebody who has donated many songs to HPA comps and things like that. She's awesome, and she's going to do a show just for those people. So let's see. One way to get to those House Cup pages is to
look in the YouTube chat because I just put the link there. But
Katie,
there are other ways. There are other ways too.
No, that is by far the best way. The way that I was going to say was wildly inefficient. Hey, guess what?
What?
We did it.
Yay!
Yay! That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you, whoever did it.
Thank you, Dan Anderson, and also Anonymous.
Thank you, Dan Anderson and Anonymous. I should have known.
Totally. Thank you so much, Dan. And so we have hit 1,266, and that puts us over the cat milestone. You already saw the cat.
I'm going to be... Yay! Oh, so stately.
Right? I love how he tucks his little paws into his chest.
Yeah.
That's cute. What up?
Very polite.
Cute kitty.
I'm going to add the screenshot I took of you when we had the accidental cat and put that on Twitter, because I did ask Twitter to help and I don't want them to feel cheated.
Perfect.
I'm going to tag this one. This is us.
I love it. Excellent. We've hit 2 a.m. goof, so I think it is time to close this live stream. But thank you all so much for being with us and for supporting this amazing campaign. Again, if you haven't checked it out yet, I'd be surprised if you're in this live stream and haven't checked it out. But go to apparatinglibrary.org, linked in the video description. Check out this campaign and consider supporting it. Again, one way to get all the information you need is to watch the campaign video, and that's right there on the campaign page. That provides you with all the info you need to know how to support this campaign. So looking forward to seeing how this develops over the next month.
Yeah, and you can also visit the hpalliance.org/FOTAL 2018, FOTAL 2018. And that has links to all the house cups and various fundraisers and stuff like that.
Yep. That has also the frequently asked questions. So if you're wondering how something works, such as the contest, that little facts section is super, super helpful. So check it out.
I'm sorry, I'm just super amused by my own tweet. Everyone, please go enjoy it.
I will do that as soon as we log off this thing.
Excellent.
Which I'm going to do now.
Hooray!
So thank you again for being here and sticking around 10 minutes late. We ran 10 minutes over. I'm not sorry. I think we had a great time.
I think it was worth it.
I totally agree. Thank you, Katie, by the way, for joining me on this adventure.
Thank you, Matt, for inviting me on this adventure. It's been a blast.
You are most welcome.
Got to see a dog, got to see a cat. This is the best night ever. Hashtag this is us.
All right. Good night, folks. Have a great night.
Bye, everyone.
Accio Books.
Accio Books. Happy